Does that make sense? Are you guys tracking with me? I was helping this guy with some content coaching, and he wants to teach people how to kind of network in sales and see the lifestyle of sales, but he's going viral for steak videos, how to cook a steak. And then whenever he posts something about sales, everyone's like, yo, where's the steak videos? Where are the steak videos? So anyways, guys, this is content strategy, basically how to build content strategy 101. If you have any questions about this, drop them in the comments. Let's make it happen. Do this exercise. DM me a picture of this exercise. I would love to see what you guys did. If you want to build your personal brand, you have to start by picking not just your niche, but your brand pillars. And I will explain that in a second, but I've worked with a lot of big creators, a big Navy SEAL who you all know, a big bodybuilder who you all know, a big biohacker who you all know, and everyone tries to replicate where they are at now, and that will not work. You have to look at what they did at the beginning of their creator careers. Here is why picking a niche is not always great. It's because you don't stand out, okay? You don't counter position inside of your niche. You don't have any association to other people outside of your niche. Why would someone listen to you if you're just another one of the fitness people? Just fitness, lifestyle. They won't. So when picking your core brand pillar, you're gonna pick 3, but your first one, it needs to be attached to something that's going to make other people money. If you're building a business on your creator platform, if you're just doing it as a hobby, go for it. But if you wanna make money and monetize, your niche has to be connected to making other people money. Think a tax strategist, think email marketing, think remote sales, helping people get jobs. So here's a quick example. Let's say, I want to be in the gardening niche. Sure, okay, not a great niche to start with because I'm not gonna be able to monetize it very well, but maybe I can level it up and I can connect it to creating gardening for locally sourced foods to restaurant, farm to table type of stuff. Now what I'm doing is I'm helping restaurants look to me as a way to help them get money. Okay, now I add 2 extra brand pillars. So I have my gardening that is farm to table for restaurants. That's kind of my deeper layer. But I had 2 more layers, and these are just things that I like. And what this does is it gives somebody a different angle of my personality. Now let's say it is Pokemon cards and Peloton. Now I know what I'm playing, or I know what I can create content on, and I keep running that circle over and over and over. Okay, so why does this matter? Because I have a core pillar that's going to help me build my business, but then I have personality pillars that are going to surround my core offer, and it's going to give people association. What they're going to think is, I like Peloton, and I'm a gardener, I'm a restaurant owner, I'm gonna work with this person. I like Pokemon cards, I'm gonna work with this person. So think about it with fitness, you go 1 layer deeper, how gyms can monetize with saunas, and then you add, hopscotch and gum. If you're a business owner, the 2 most important things you can do every single day on a very high level are to stay focused and to not do too much or attempt to do too much. There was this quote from Warren Buffett, or a story. He got onto his plane and he asked his pilot, hey, small talk, hey, what are your goals for the year? And the pilot started listing off 1, 2, 3, 4. He got down to like 15 things. And Warren Buffett said, no, just pick one. Just pick one and do it really, really well. This is the idea of having this one boulder, this rock, okay, that you have to move. And if you move this, your life will be better, your business will grow. And so I have a morning exercise that I do probably 90% of my mornings. I have this desk, and then behind me I have my work desk. And over here I get these little things. They're $6 at Target, and I'm obsessed with these yellow notepads, okay? And there's 4 things that you're gonna write on this notepad. The first thing is 5 things you are grateful for. Gratitude is scientifically the strongest emotion someone can feel. And what I've noticed is as you raise levels in business, it's super easy to lose your gratefulness of where you've been in such a short amount of time. My life has changed insane amounts in 5 months, and I can still get into depressive episodes, not like depressive, sad or mundane episodes, and lose gratitude. And one tip on this is it has to be specific, and you can't repeat for a very long time. I try to basically never repeat. So for mine today, I have specifically that my wife believes in me, which I've written before, but it's been a couple weeks. I have that the Lord sustained me and my wife for and our family financially for about 20 months while I was in the pit of business. I wrote down my Iowa State wrestling coach because he gave a specific life lesson, and he used to just say, find a way. If I could not do something, he did not care. He would just say, find a way. Like there was like a rope climb, and my hands had been blistered and ripped off, and I literally felt like I could not climb this rope. All he said was, find a way, find a way, find a way. So went, got tape, had a friend help me, and like I literally was jumping off my friend's head, and he's like, hey, that's all I care about. You found a way. And then there's some other things on here that are a little bit more personal that I'll leave to the side. But then the next thing you're going to write down is, once you put your 5 things that are hyper specific, is you're going to put down your to-do list for the week or for the day, and try to keep it only like 3 to 5 things. And then this is another pro tip that I learned from Sean Purry, who is My First Million podcast, is right next to to-do list, you're just going to remind yourself, sprint. So I have my to-do list, and then I just put a little note to myself that says sprint. And what this means is, as I get into these tasks, I'm just going to literally try to do them as fast as I can. Okay? I have to do some social media, like managing stuff for some clients, some really basic stuff, like gather some data, post some videos, run some trial reels, stuff like that. And that's like some pretty mundane work. But if I sprint it, I'm like focused, because I'm trying to move at a speed that demands focus. And I actually get more effective. I'm not checking my phone. I'm not kind of going to the bathroom. I'm not running to the grocery store real quick. So I'm going to sprint this stuff. Okay. The next thing, and these next 2 categories are huge. The next one is 3 things to watch out for. 3 things to watch out for in your day. These could be external things like checking your phone. I've been checking TikTok notifications way too much. That needs to go down. But also it could be emotional things. Like, man, like are you noticing yourself getting a little bit like bitter towards something? Or are you noticing yourself maybe kind of like, I got to be careful, I've been lying to my boss a little bit too much. Like, hey, no, we got to cut that out. You know what I mean? Like, what do you have to watch out for? So for me, I have to say no to miscellaneous tasks today. People are going to ask me for something. They're going to say, hey, can you go do this real quick? Can you go do this real quick? And that's going to eat up my day. I have deep work that needs to get done. I have to literally say no